37 of the Council's provisional rules of procedure.
The Syrian government has failed to fulfill its responsibility to protect its own people, and instead has subjected citizens in several cities to military assault and disproportionate use of force. These shameful operations continue. Sustained attacks against Idlib, Homs, and elsewhere in the country have killed scores of people over the past couple of days, including women and children.
Of Libya to participate in.
I appeal to the Security Council to unite strongly behind ending the violence and supporting Mr. Annan's mission to help Syria pull back from the brink of a deeper catastrophe. This is vital for the Syrian people and for the entire region.
So decided. In the eyes of the overwhelming majority of the world, this Council has so far failed in its responsibilities towards the Syrian people. It has failed to address the brutal oppression of peaceful protesters by the Syrian regime, and it has not yet put its weight and authority behind the efforts of the Arab League. It is time for the Security Council to show unity and to show leadership. The Security Council will now begin.
Now is the time for all nations, even those who have previously blocked our efforts, to stand behind the humanitarian and political approach spelled out by the Arab League. The international community should say with one voice, without hesitation or caveat, that the killings of innocent Syrians must stop and a political transition must begin.
Document S-2012-146.
We do not believe that sovereignty demands that this Council stand silent when governments massacre their own people, threatening regional peace and security in the process. And we reject any equivalence between premeditated murders by a government's military machine and the actions of civilians under siege driven to self-defense. How cynical that even as Assad was receiving former Secretary General Kofi Annan, the Syrian army was conducting a fresh assault on Idlib and continuing its aggression in Hama, Homs, and Rastan.
Resolutions submitted by France, Germany, Morocco.
Нет никакого сомнения, что сирийские власти несут огромную долю ответственности за происходящее. Но нельзя не видеть, что они давно уже воюют, отнюдь не с безоружными людьми, а с боевыми отрядами, среди которых и так называемая свободная сирийская армия и экстремистские террористические группы, включая Аль-Каиду, которые осуществляют в последнее время серию кровавых терактов. Поэтому, если мы все искренне хотим в качестве абсолютного приоритета немедленно прекратить всякое насилие и оказать гуманитарную помощь гражданскому населению, то на данном этапе надо говорить не о том, кто первый начал, а о выработке реалистичных, осуществимых подходов, которые позволили бы в приоритетном порядке добиться прекращения огня.
There cannot be an expectation for defenseless citizens in the face of artillery assaults to end their capacity to defend themselves before there's a commitment by the Assad regime to do so. We want to give Kofi Annan the space and time to develop his recommendations. We have the highest respect for him. He has a proven track record of bringing parties to resolution. So our goal is to listen to him. And if he comes back with a slightly different formulation that we think will work, we're going to be very respectful of that.
We shall not really think of putting the government and the opposition on one level, whether it's acceptable or not. It's about saving lives. Ceasefire is an absolute must. And we sincerely hope that the mission headed by Kofi Annan would succeed in developing some ideas which would make it possible for us to agree on how to stop the bloodshed immediately, how to stop the fighting irrespective of the source of the violence.
About Gaza, can you address